Welcome to Telugu One Academy. Today we'll discuss an important constitutional body, that is Finance Commission. In previous class we have discussed constitutional bodies, their importance, and we also discussed Election Commission. So today we have another important constitutional body, Finance Commission. We'll have a general introduction. Finance Commission comes under Article 280 of the Constitution. So as we said, it's an important constitutional body. Finance Commission is termed as a balancing wheel of fiscal federalism. As we all know, our system of government is federalistic in nature. So federal system of government is what we follow. So we have a clear division of powers between the union government and the state government. And here comes the importance of Finance Commission. So for every country, for its development, its running, its governance, finances are most important. So for any welfare scheme, for development scheme, and for prudent and strong finance, we need a strong commission or a strong machinery which could recommend on the strengthening of finances of the country. So here when we say federal system, here the states have their autonomous power in raising revenue, and union government has its own power, that is autonomous power in raising revenue. But as we all know, our Indian system is not pure federal form of government. As United States of America follows pure form of federalism, India follows a quasi form of federalism. That is, most of the powers are bent towards center. So central government is more powerful than state governments in all matters, be it finance matters, military, law and order, or any other matters. Most of the powers are bent towards union government. This we have discussed in federal system. Now when we come to Finance Commission again, it's a constitutional body constituted by the President of India. So Finance Commission is a body, it's a multi-member body, a chairman and 4 members constituted by the President of India every 5 years, or at any time the President is generally required. So every 5 years the Finance Commission has to be constituted, and Finance Commission recommends on various issues related to the distribution of net proceeds of taxes between the union government and state government, and also between the state governments. This we would be discussing in the topic functions of the finance government, what all the recommendations the Finance Commission will give, and it will submit its report to the President, and the President will place those reports in the Parliament in front of both the houses. So first thing is, why Finance Commission? What is the importance of Finance Commission? When we say we have a federal system of government, whatever the revenue is generated in the country has to be distributed by the union government with the states. So the revenues are to be distributed among the states by the union government. Even the union government requires its share, its amount, so that it could also run the country, it could also bring certain policies or programs regarding the welfare and development of the people. So why we need Finance Commission? So what is the importance of Finance Commission? We would be discussing this in our next topics. So as we know, Article 280 provides a Finance Commission, which is also a quasi-judicial body. Here when we say quasi-judicial body, the Finance Commission, the members of the Finance Commission can summon anyone or can demand any papers required for it. So the Finance Commission acts as a civil court at certain times. So it's a quasi-judicial body, it's a constitutional body. constituted by the President of India every 5th year. Every 5th year, the Finance Commission is constituted by the President of India. Here we also have State Finance Commission, not to be confused. We also have a State Finance Commission, which is also a constitutional body. State Finance Commission under Article 243I. So we also have State Finance Commission, which is constituted by the governor of the state. So here we are discussing about Central Finance Commission, that is Finance Commission of India, which is under Article 280. So here the President would constitute the Finance Commission every 5th year or before the expiry of the term of the earlier Finance Commission also. So the members, the composition of Finance Commission is, we have one chairman and 4 members. The Finance Commission has a composition of one chairman and 4 other members. So in total we have 5-member commission. We have 5-member commission with 1 chairman and 4 members. So now we have to know what are the eligibility conditions or what are the qualifications required for the Finance Commission chairman and members. So they have term, Finance Commission has a term of 5 years. Earlier also the President could constitute a new Finance Commission. So they hold office for the period specified by the President of India. They are also eligible for reappointment. This may be a probable question in the exam. Exam lo idi oka question avavachu. Finance Commission members reappoint kuda avtaru. So they are eligible for the reappointment. So first Finance Commission was constituted in 1951. Where we also have some qualifications for members and also the chairman of the Finance Commission. Now first we'll talk about the qualification required for the chairman of the Finance Commission. The chairman should have experience in public affairs. See, there is no specific qualification. The only qualification is the chairman should have well knowledge or experience in public affairs. So generally what happens is a senior Indian Administrative Service officer, that is IAS officer, who has a vast experience from district level to the union level. So he has an experience. He might have worked as a district collector, then as a secretariat. In secretariat he would be worked as a secretary. So he had a wide experience in public affairs. So this is the qualification required for the chairman of the Finance Commission. And what are the qualifications required for other members? So as we know, Finance Commission has a composition of 1 chairman and 4 members. So we have we know that the chairman should have knowledge of public affairs or experience in public affairs, and the members, 4 other members, should have these qualifications. One should be judge of the High Court or qualified as a judge of the High Court. He should have been a qualification to be a judge of the High Court, or a retired High Court judge may also be a member of the Finance Commission. The other member should be expert in finance and accounts of the government. As we know, Finance Commission deals with net proceeds of the taxes. It deals with the finances of the state. It deals with the grant in aid, how to strengthen the consolidated fund of India, and also it should recommend on strengthening of the consolidated fund of the state. So all the matters are dealt regarding the finances, regarding the money, regarding the strengthening of the economy. So obviously we would expect a member of the Finance Commission to have expertise in finances, in the matter of revenue, in the matter of accounts. So one member should have expertise in finance and accounts. So, such members may be drawn from Indian Audit and Account Services or Indian administrative services who have worked in finance ministry or with other departments which involves economy, generation of economy. So, such member is required here who has knowledge of expertise or knowledge of finance and accounts. Other members should have expertise or knowledge in financial matters and administration. One is here accounts and here is administration. Here, why the knowledge of administration? Because the generation of revenue, that is strengthening of the consolidated fund of India, requires also the knowledge of administration, how exactly the governance runs, what all it needs, how much expenditure a government could afford, what is fiscal deficit, what is money system, monetary system. So, all this knowledge and member should be expected to have. So, expertise in financial matters and administration. One is expertise in finance and accounts and finance and administration. And other member should have a knowledge in economics, because everything revolves around the economics, economic concept of demand and supply, concept of market, concept of imports and exports. So, a person should also have a knowledge in economy, that is economics. So, we have 4 members who should have all these qualifications, that is, one should be qualified as High Court judge or can be a retired High Court judge. One should be expertise in finance and accounts, one should be expertise in financial matters and administration, and one should have a expert knowledge of economics. So, these are the qualifications required for the members and chairman of the Finance Commission. Then only we could expect a strong recommendations made by Finance Commission. Generally, the recommendations made by the Finance Commission are accepted by the government because they have expert knowledge. They will continuously study the economy of the country. So, such recommendations would generally implemented by the government. Otherwise, it is not mandatory. The recommendations are advisory in nature. The president or the parliament may or may not take this recommendations of the Finance Commission, because Finance Commission is a constitutional body and the recommendations are made by the experts. Generally, the government almost implements the recommendations of the Finance Commission. So, on what matters the Finance Commission will recommend? So, when we say India is a quasi-federal system of polity, we know union government has more power when compared to state governments. So, the union government has more power in collection of the revenues, though state government also be a part in collection of the revenues, but most of the revenues are given or taken by the union government. Once the union government gets all the revenues through various things, like we have taxable revenues, like revenues collected by taxation, revenues collected by the fee, penalties, interest. So, all these things are taken by the union government. So, once the union government collects all the revenues, it will decide on how the principles are made. It will formulate on the policies or principles that how much money should be distributed among the states, or how much money should be distributed through grant in aid from Consolidated Fund of India. So, all these things are recommended by the Finance Commission. So, main thing is net proceeds. Net proceeds is the net amount or the net revenue brought by the union government, or the union government which collects the net revenue, that is all those revenues taken minus the charges or the fees collected or the expenditure which has made during the collection of such taxes. So, these net proceeds of the taxes should be shared between the union and the states, and also among the states. So, we know what are the principles needed, what amount should be shared between the states and between the union and the states. So, net proceeds of the taxes should be between center states and the allocation among the states, that is between the states. That is one recommendation made by the Finance Commission, how much revenue should be allocated to the states. Second is the recommendation regarding grant in aid made by the union government to the states from the Consolidated Fund of India. So, how much grants should be given to the states? Now, when we discuss 15th Finance Commission, we would be discussing various parameters, on what parameters the union government will distribute the grants or revenue among the states. So, one is net proceeds of the taxes and one is grant in aid out of the Consolidated Fund of India. And the other recommendations which the Finance Commission has to be made on the topic is Consolidated Fund of the State. Here when we say Consolidated Fund of the State, this is the state government's domain, and the Consolidated Fund of the State is operated within the state government. And we also have a State Finance Commission constituted by the governor, but here the Central Finance Commission will also make recommendations on how to strengthen the Consolidated Fund of the State, so that the state would give finances to the local governments, or the state will devolve finances to the local governments. Here when we say local governments, it is both panchayats and municipalities. So, the Central Finance Commission will also recommend on the prudent or the strengthening of the state consolidated fund, that is Consolidated Fund of the state government. And other thing is, the President will decide on what matters the Finance Commission should also make recommendations. So, here the President will decide, or the President will put forward certain things in front of the Finance Commission to also make recommendation on such matters. So, one is, first recommendation will be generally on net proceeds of taxation and how this net proceeds should be devolved among the states between the union and the states. And the next is we have principles governing the grant in aids from the Consolidated Fund of India to the states, and third is how to strengthen the Consolidated Fund of the state, and also on such matters the President is interested. So, these are the things on which the Finance Commission will give a recommendation. Earlier we had also Finance Commission will give recommendations on these things on Bihar, Orissa, West Bengal states regarding jute. Now we do not have this. Okay. So, here erstwhile Planning Commission, before Niti Aayog was there was a lot of controversial things happened between the Planning Commission and the Finance Commission. Now we do not have a Planning Commission, we have replaced the Planning Commission by Niti Aayog. But earlier there was a conflict between the functioning of Finance Commission and Planning Commission. We would be just knowing few things, because Planning Commission was not a constitutional body. Planning Commission was not a constitutional body, but because the Planning Commission was chaired by the Prime Minister of India, even now the Niti Aayog is also chaired by the Prime Minister of India, which is also not a constitutional body. But generally what happens is, when the Prime Minister is chairman of such a body, that body becomes most powerful. So, here there was a lot of conflict between the recommendations of the Planning Commission and the Finance Commission. Even the Planning Commission which also plans, which prepares annual plans for entire country, have at certain times override the recommendations of the Finance Commission, which was a constitutional body, which is also a constitutional body. So, our Finance Commission says that Finance Commission is a balancing wheel of fiscal federalism. So balancing wheel, when we say balancing wheel, we have union government and many state governments, and the union government should play as a big brother's role. So this role, it sometimes has been overdosed, that is, the autonomous role of the state government has been undermined. So the recommendations of the Planning Commission at sometimes have overridden the recommendations of the Finance Commission. But here Finance Commission is a constitutional body and it's a balancing wheel of Indian federalism, and this center-state fiscal relation is maintained by the Finance Commission. But here, when the Planning Commission became more powerful, some of the powers of Finance Commission has been reduced. But now the things have changed once we have replaced the Planning Commission with Niti Aayog. Now again Finance Commission has become a significant body to protect the federal structure of the country. So the main functions of Finance Commission, again when we have discussed, it will determine the revenue gaps of each state. See, we have a very diverse country where we have many states depending upon the demography, depending upon the area, depending upon the population, depending upon the rural economy and basic infrastructure provided in the states. Now the Finance Commission is giving certain recommendations or principles that how much revenue should be devolved or distributed to the states from the union government. So we have these things. So now we will be discussing what the 15th Finance Commission is. The present Finance Commission, 15th Finance Commission is headed by N.K. Singh. So Nand Kishore Singh is the chairman of the 15th Finance Commission, and we know N.K. Singh is the chairman of the 15th Finance Commission. It has constituted from 2021-22 to, again we have a term of 5 years. So the 15th Finance Commission what we have today is chaired by Nand Kishore Singh, and we have 4 other members also. The 4 other members, one chairman and 4 other members. We have Alok Narayan Jha, we have Ashok Lahari, we have Ramesh, and the secretary here we have is Arvind. Arvind Singh is the secretary. So these are the 4 members. We have N.K. Singh as the chairman of the 15th Finance Commission. We have Alok Jha, Ashok Lahari, Ramesh and Anup Singh as the members of the 15th Finance Commission, and the secretary is Arvind Singh, who is a senior IAS officer. So the Finance Commission today, that is 15th Finance Commission, has recommended that we have 41% should be the percentage which should be devolved among the states. The 14th Finance Commission, earlier Finance Commission, has recommended 42%. We have 2 types of devolution. One is vertical devolution and one is horizontal devolution. When we say vertical devolution, the earlier Finance Commission, that is the 14th Finance Commission, has given recommendations, has recommended that 42% of the total revenue should be shared among the states. But because the recent change in the states, that is the statehood of Jammu and Kashmir has changed, we have 2 union territories of Ladakh and Kashmir, we have reduced for by 1%. Now we have 41% of the vertical devolution to be shared among the union and the states. And we have other parameters also by which the Finance Commission has recommended. we can say that what are the parameters. I'll explain here. The main parameters which the union government will decide on the recommendations of the Finance Commission are: first is income. First is income. Income has given a weightage of 45%. 45% weightage is given to the income of the state. Then we have 15% weightage given to the population and 15% weightage given to the area. We have 10% weightage given to the forest and ecology. And we have 2.5% weightage given to the fiscal performance of the states. So, on these 4 parameters, the 15th Finance Commission has recommended the devolution of finances by the union to the states. So, one is major significance has given to the income of the states. So, more the state has generating income, the more would be the finances the states would get. So, the income has given 45% weightage. This is the weightage we are saying. So, income is for 45%, 15% weightage is given to the population of the state, 15% weightage is given to the area of the state, and 10% to the forest. 12.5% weightage is given to the demographic performances. So, 12.5% weightage is given to the demographic performances. So, based on these parameters, the Finance Commission has recommended these parameters, and the union government would distribute its revenue among the state based on these parameters. But there is a lot of criticism also made on the recommendations of the Finance Commission, because as we know here, the weightage of 12.5% is given to the demographic performances, and as we all know, our South Indian states like Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala, all these states have very good performance. They have performed very well on reducing the population, but the government has taken 2011 census. Because 2011 census, we have made very good performance on the demography of the state, demography that is controlling the population. Definitely these South Indian states which have performed well would be getting lesser revenue, and the state with more population, more popular states like UP, like Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Orissa, Rajasthan, all these states, though they have not performed well on demographic parameters, they would be getting more revenue. So, this is the criticism what the Finance Commission and the Government of India is facing. And when we say the income, the performance of the income, the states which perform well will have a weightage of 45% in getting the revenue from the union government. So, this is the parameter where the 15th Finance Commission has recommended. Just to have a revision, we have weightage of 45% based on income. We have 15% weightage given to the population of the state. We have 15% weightage given to the area. That is, the larger the area, the more money a state government is required. We have given 12.5% weightage to the demographic performances, that is controlling of the population. And we have given 10% weightage to the forest and ecology. The state which does well on reforestation or protecting of the forest, those states would be given more revenue. And we have 2.5% on fiscal policies of the states. So, when there is a lesser gap between the revenue and expenditure, such states will also get more revenue. So, on these parameters which has recommended by the 15th Finance Commission, the union government will devolve or share the revenues between the union government and the states, and also among the states based on these parameters. So, this makes Finance Commission very important in the federal system of the country. where all the states should have a equal development. Here why we take all these parameters is there have to be a lesser gap between the states and their development. The more the gap we find, there will be a lot of demand for the states, or the inequality between the development of the states lead to imbalanced nature of the growth, which is not good for a democratic country like India. So, the Finance Commission is very important, and the recommendations of the Finance Commission are also important, which can be expected in exams. Thank you for watching this video.